Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. It is another book review. I am just at the tail end of my recovery from top surgery while I'm finishing up filming this and churning through this TBR pile. Just loving getting to spend a whole month doing nothing but reading and researching literature related to body piercing and body modification. Girlfriend has the zoomies in the background. And today's is such a good one. We are talking about Pleading in the Blood, the art and performances of Ron Athey. For those who are not familiar, this is absolutely something that anyone in the piercing industry, anyone super interested and enthusiastic about piercings, unequivocally should read. You should know Ron's name. I feel like his name is a household name in the industry, but definitely among an older generation of piercers. And I do find that a lot of younger piercers and apprentices and enthusiasts have no idea who Ron is, which is so just striking to me as someone who grew up like seeing his work and seeing his performances. And like, I did a paper in high school on censorship in America, and I cited Ron Athey and also Robert Mapplethorpe in that. And it's just wild to me how many people don't know about Ron. So I, of course, was just very excited to get this book because the images in it are beautiful. I feel like there's probably next to none that I could show on YouTube. As it goes with a lot of these books. Not that one. Not those. Okay, you know what? There's nothing in this book that I can show you on YouTube, but the images are amazing. I knew I wanted this for a while, and I finally found it for a reasonable price on eBay, and was so excited to add it to my collection and finally read through it. And for those unaware, Ron is an American-based performance artist who's most well known for performances that include sort of like bodily extremism, body modification, play piercing, scarification, and just generally extreme performance art. According to his bio online, Athey's work explores challenging subjects like the relationship between desire, sexuality, and traumatic experience. Many of his works include aspects of S&M in order to confront preconceived ideas about the body in relation to masculinity and religious iconography. I think if you are unfamiliar with Ron's work, Pleading in the Blood does a really good job of sort of introducing you to Ron Athey as a person, as this boy who grew up in California in an extremely extremist religious household, being told that he was like a gifted child and had a religious calling to announce the second coming of Christ and is communicating with God and angels, and that he has this higher religious calling, who grows up to realize that this is maybe not the case, and maybe his family members are experiencing religious psychosis, and his mom is a schizophrenic, comes out as queer, has a difficult relationship with sexuality, with his body, with drug use, eventually contracts HIV/AIDS during the AIDS epidemic, and manages to survive as many people that he is close to and loves passes away around him. And a lot of the hallmark of his artwork and his performance art is addressing the impact of AIDS on his own life, on his community, and also intertwines his religious upbringing and this religious trauma that he has. And this book, it has interviews with Ron himself that discuss his childhood, what led him to exploring extreme tattoo and piercing and scarification, how he in turn started creating art with his body, his experiences in the BDSM scene, and how all of these things were formative for him. It also includes interviews with art critics, and it also includes interviews with other performers who worked alongside him, talking about his artistic process, how they came up with the performance art. A large portion of the book centers on his censorship in America. If you remember, I mentioned I've known about Ron Athey since high school because I did a project on censorship of the arts, and Athey and Robert Mapplethorpe were two people who I cited in that. So in the 80s and 90s, there was this like scare about artwork in America, and everyone was so worried about offensive artwork. And Ron Athey was one of the artists at the center of this political crusade against art. He did a performance piece where he makes blood prints. He cuts lines on someone's back and presses paper into them to create a print of a design in the blood, and then they send these prints out over the crowd on laundry lines. And the performer he was cutting into, Divinity Fudge, is HIV negative. But Ron Athey was positive. And there was a large outcry from people who did not even attend the performance, claiming that Ron put HIV infected blood over the audience and someone could have gotten hurt and someone could have gotten AIDS, and it was all fear-mongering. A, the audience was never at risk. B, anyone who attended was warned that the performance they were seeing was going to include blood and extreme acts of body modification and extreme bodily performance art. And the people who attended talk about how powerful it was and how impactful it is to see someone, especially at that time period, who is HIV positive, working with blood, at times his own, although his own blood was never at risk of coming in contact with the audience. And realistically, there wasn't much risk of anyone's blood coming in contact with the audience with those blood prints, but it wasn't his blood, it wasn't HIV positive blood. And also, just the subversiveness at that time to be HIV positive and to do performance art that includes breaking the skin and bleeding. This was before the advent of modern medicine for HIV and AIDS, during a time when it was still incredibly stigmatized, incredibly hated on, and what Ron was doing took so much courage and bravery to make this loud statement of, we're here, we're not going anywhere, we're not dirty, there's nothing wrong with us, and you might feel terrified of my blood, but fuck you, I'm gonna bleed if I want to bleed anyway. And his work for anyone queer or gay or trans at the time was so impactful in the way that he stood up for the community and was so willing to make this loud statement of presence and of passion and of humanity. And of course, a lot of his works explore religious themes from his childhood, and many of us can relate to facing religious discrimination and dealing with religious trauma, and it just adds another layer of relatability for queer folks to the work that he does. If you haven't seen any of his performances, there are recordings of some of them, and they are so powerful and so impassioned and so moving, and it is the height of queer performance art combined with S&M, combined with body modification. It is everything all rolled into one. And when we think about the larger context of piercing and breaking the skin, it is not just limited to doing a dainty little ear piercing and putting a cute gold ring in it. It's not just about a cute little diamond stud in your nose. Piercing has always had an element of ritual, an element of spirituality, an element of connection with your body. And Ron Athey really espouses what it means to still explore those relationships and those themes in piercing in modern times. The work he does is a facet and an element of piercing that I do feel that we're losing a little bit. I feel like in the 90s and 2000s, even up to about 2010, 2015, people were still getting weird with their body and exploring the boundaries of their body and seeing what was possible and doing weird, cool play piercings as part of art performances and bleeding as a statement and as an art form. And now, God, when COVID first started, I went and did a ritual in the woods near my house and did a bunch of play piercings and did a bloodletting just to help myself deal with the emotions I was feeling, not being able to work, the COVID crisis, all of that stuff. And I had piercers telling me that I was a bad and unsafe piercer because I was willing to, with full informed consent and specific training about doing work outdoors, go do play piercings on myself with no one else around in a private space as a way for me to process what I was feeling. And that made me a bad and unsafe piercer. And I got told that I was basically a kitchen magician for doing play piercings consensually on myself in the woods. We've sort of lost the plot a little bit, that there are ways that we can explore emotion and feeling and trauma and pain and history and connection and sexuality and humanity with our bodies, and the way that body play and performance and art and ritual can all intersect into one. And if we want to talk about someone modernly who is doing that, who is keeping that alive, Ron Athey is absolutely at the top of that list. And And if you're completely unfamiliar with his work, Pleading in the Blood is a fantastic introduction to it. And if you are worried that the full-length videos and stuff of the performances might be a little bit much for you, or you might not quite feel ready to watch it yet, this has a lot of beautiful stills from all of his performances and gives you a breakdown of them, and also just sort of introduces you to what inspired these performances and what his ideals and his aims were with them and his mentality behind them and his co-performers. And it's fantastic. I bought this thinking that it was just going to be like an art book and full of beautiful pictures, but the interviews and the stories and the art critics and journalists in this, everything is fantastic, and it's wonderfully well written, and it really spans the course of Athey's career and all of the different performance art that he's done, and it's just a really fantastic read. And I think it really covers a part of this industry that I feel like we've lost a little bit, and I would love to see more folks connecting with and playing with and exploring and doing more with. So Pleading in the Blood gets a very strong 10 out of 10 from me. It'll be listed on the media list, and if I can find a reasonable resource for folks to purchase it, I'll try and list it with a link to purchase. If you didn't know that, I always try and do this with my media list, so a lot of stuff is listed with links to purchase. That way, if you want to buy these books, support these authors and these creators and these piercers and these artists, you can. But this one was fantastic. This one was phenomenal. I loved reading it so much. I loved all of the images, and I really feel like Pleading in the Blood would be a great way for folks to connect with a side of this industry that I think gets overlooked far too often. So thanks for sitting down and hanging out and chatting, and I will see you for the next one as I continue to just plow through all of my TBR with my remaining time in recovery. All right, folks, have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to sit down and chat again soon. Bye.